Hello, everybody. Welcome back to That Proud Black Woman Show. Thank you so much for showing up on another week. It's been fantastic, you guys. And just before I came online, I was just talking about how the week has been stressful for a lot of people. And I'm sure that there's so many people on that table with me. And, managing stress this time, it's something that we all need to learn how to also release control of some things. So I think I'm on that table as well. But anyway, how has your week been, everybody? Hope you're doing great. If you're joining us, where are you joining us from? Are you here in Canada? What city are you watching us from? Leave a comment in the comment section. And also, if you're not watching from Canada, you're welcome to the Proud Fam. Also, leave a comment and let's mingle. That's how we mark attendance on this show. All right. Okay. So you're wondering, who do I have here today? As usual, every time I go and I bring the diamond in every area of every field. I always look for the diamond, the shining lights, all right? Because that's how I want to be seen as well. So who do I have here today? And fun fact, we didn't plan the outfit because our scarf looks like my we didn't plan the outfit, but it goes well. So that's how you know that like minds, they think alike, all right? So who do I have here today? I know you really want to know, but I'm just going to leave a little bit of suspense for you, and then we'll talk about that when I get back. Hello, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So, who do I have here today? I have Mounfiq Raiyan Abu. I hope I'm actually pronouncing it right because I've been thinking about how do I pronounce it and all of that. So, I'm just gonna let you introduce yourself to us and what you do and all that good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Fikemi, for having me. And you pronounced the first name correctly, but the middle name, you mispronounced it, is Ryan.
Ryan.
Like, I
Nice.
think for the people here, they'll say Ryan or something,
Okay.
but it's actually Ryan. So Ryan Abu is quite easy to pronounce, ABU. So that's the name. So I'm so happy to be here. So what I do is that I'm a certified leadership and mindset reset coach, and I help the overwhelmed woman to develop the audacity to lead professionally and personally despite adversity, because we were just talking a while now, our life is filled with ups and filled with downs. And as women, we wear so many hats. We are mothers, we are wives, we are business owners. Also, we are career people. We have our career, we have our businesses as a side hustle. We have the needs of our children, the needs of our marriages and or relationships, whatever commitments we have. And then we have life as it is. So it's not easy to wear all those hats. So being overwhelmed comes second nature with our mindset or our day-to-day activities, because there's no rule book. There's nowhere you say, oh, I got these tips and I run with it and it's just working exactly the way I want it, because life will happen. And when life happens, it comes as an adversity, a discomfort, a misfortune. So how do you keep going despite that? Because those hats, you can't take them off. You can't say, I don't want to live my life anymore. I don't want to be a mother anymore. You already have children. Or I don't want to, and you won't even be happy if you disengage from your responsibilities, because we are born with that sense of responsibility as women. So that's basically in a kind of a bit of a background as to why I do what I do. And this is exactly what it is I do in my coaching. Yes. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for that brief introduction. For those of you that are watching, if you go in the description, you can actually see a bio. It's in there, and she's been doing so amazing. I believe from your bio, you said you've been doing this for 15 years. That's a long time. So, so
Very
what
long
actually
time.
motivated you to say, this is my path and this is how I want to go?
Yes, that's a very good question. I started coaching for the very first time in 2006, and
Mm.
that's over 15 years ago now. It's been a kind of something I've been interested in for a very long time. I'm the first of four siblings, and it comes with a lot of responsibility being the oldest child. And then my mother died when I was 19. And the next thing I'm hearing from relations and people around is, you are now the mother to these children. You are even like a confidant to your dad. Although it was a polygamous home, but my dad was so close to my mom and he was grieving very badly. And I had to like really be a kind of emotional support for him, you know? So I've always pondered on, how do you lead other people when you are not even doing well yourself? Because as a teenager, at that time, all through my teens, 12, 13, 14, I was that awkward teenager, awkward in every sense, low self-esteem, no overwhelming self-doubt, very timid. If I'm walking like this, I can just trip over myself. There's nothing on the floor, I'll trip over myself. Highly sensitive. Anything you tell me, I take it to heart. I didn't believe I was beautiful. I believed I was so ugly, to the extent that I couldn't even look in the mirror because I was so scared of the hideous image I would see. And I was teased and bullied a lot. So it even worsened my situation. But when I was 15, my father gave me a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I didn't read that book for the first 1 month. I spent that 1 month pondering on the topic itself, think and grow rich. So I'm like, how do you think? Then you become rich. You know, all of us are struggling. They're telling us, go to school, pass your exams, do well so you can get a job, you know, be somebody, make money, leave something for your children, you know, and the cycle continues, as they say. Then I'm like, what has your thoughts got to do with making money? You know, so that's the first time I really got introduced into personal development and thinking outside the box and thinking of, oh, it's not just about education, it's not just about skills. It also has to do with the right perception, the right mindset, the right orientation, and the way you look at and evaluate things that determines how long you will go. In fact, I'm just finishing a book for the second time, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, by Robert Kiyosaki. And he was just saying that life is not about, life is more about, your life is more about your habits than your choices. The kind of habits that you exhibit, they determine if you will succeed or fail. He said life is more about your habits than your education. So you see people that have master's degrees and whatever, it doesn't determine that they will be the most emotionally intelligent people. Because to really have emotional intelligence, you have to have an elevated mindset. So my whole idea into personal development was triggered in 2006 when my father died, because it was the one that gave me that book, Think and Grow Rich. And it was somebody that really loved personal development. Losing my mom bonded me with him even more, then helped me to lead my siblings, get over my low self-esteem, because people are looking up to me. And I used the tips and the theories I learned in that book to get over all of those things. And before I knew, I started becoming more assertive. I started not feeling ugly anymore. I started really appreciating who I was. I started becoming more vocal, you know, speaking for myself, not allowing myself to be intimidated. You know, I didn't need to go to school. Nobody, no teacher, no professor taught me that. You know, I had to learn it for myself. So I felt people need this. People really need to know how to see their potential, see themselves, have a mirror version of who they are, and look at themselves as their own best friend and value themselves, not because somebody said, I'm this, that's what I believe.
And
What about who you
that's really true, because as you said, growing up, and you know, you had so many adversities, which is one of the topic, like the audacity. You know, I love that word, audacity. Like, it carries so much power, it carries so much, like,
are?
audacity. You know, for you to have an audacity, you must have said, I'm damning every other thing, I'm going for what I want. And that's one of the things that attracted me from that topic that you gave,
Yeah,
audacity to live. Because for so many of us, as you said, we've grown, even though we grew in a loving household, but there's still something that held us behind, like emotionally, like this way you said. For me too, growing up, I never felt like I was beautiful. I always got bullied as well, because they were, I listened to what other people said about me. Oh, you look ugly. Oh, you look like a boy. Oh, your head looks like this. Oh, and every time I stand up, it got to a point where I started putting up a front. So I know that people are going to say something. So I already know all the things that people say. So I look at you and say, I know you're going to say I'm ugly. I know you're going to say I have a bent leg. I know you said blah, blah, blah. But, I would put up a front. I'm not happy about it, but I'm trying to, fight for myself.
Yeah.
Until when I started growing up, and I think I was even out of university before I started gaining the confidence, and that confidence is key, because so many times it's not something you can learn in school. I went to school, I did graduate school, I did my master's degree, all of that. I'm a lawyer, but it still didn't give me that confidence. I had to work on myself. So when you talk about audacity, that's really something that you have to be mentally prepared to say, you know what, this time I'm going to love myself. I'm going to stand up for myself. It's
Yeah.
something that everybody, you can't force people to have
Yeah.
that audacity. You can't. So that's really important. So, and why this topic is very important for Black History Month, because everybody's happy Black History Month and all of that, and we're rounding it up. And I said, you know what, we all have to have a mindset reset, because all our mindset, especially in this part of the world, for those of us that came from outside of the country and we're in a predominantly Black neighborhood, we never knew we were Black, we never knew we were Black until we came here.
Yeah.
And for people that have lived here, that grew up here, they've had all kinds of bad things put into their mindset that is suppressing their mindset. So
Yeah.
how do we reset that?
Yeah.
That we're good enough, that we can succeed, that, no matter what adversity, okay, we don't have good schools in our area, we don't have good hospitals, so that's making us to lean more towards crime. How do we reset that mindset? So that's really important, and that's why you're here today to to talk to us about that. Like, how
Yes.
do we change that mindset?
Yes. I love the word audacity. And, as somebody that built as somebody in business, I think one of the fundamental things we should think of as individuals, whether we're in business or careers, we think of what our personal brand should be. So for me, I decided to adopt the word audacity to represent my brand very recently, because I researched the word and I discovered that anybody you admire, for me, I drink and breathe and read everything that Michelle Obama does. In fact, the greatest compliment I ever got when I was in banking in Nigeria was a colleague of mine that used to call me Michelle Obama, because I'm very tall. I'm like maybe like 5'11", and I'll wear my heels and I'll be walking around the hall. And so she used to call me, I'll wear my turban, I won't put this on, I'll put the turban. And she said, Michelle Obama, I remind of, and that was 08 and 09 when they were still in power. So why am I making reference to the personal brand and the word audacity? Because of the Obamas. The book I loved so much that Obama wrote before he became president is called The Audacity of Hope. And when you look at his life, it was just about audacity. How did he come from that background of being raised by a single mom, never knowing his father, met his father once in his life, had all the disadvantages, and went from that and became the first Black president? That's audacity. Audacity means you are courageous, you are fearless, you have grit, you have valor, you have determination, you have the temerity to want something that people think you shouldn't want. And I like the way you kind of integrated this whole Black History Month and all of that. If you go to my Instagram, there's something I posted, and the one post I have to commemorate Black History Month is somebody in her podcast, a white woman, that was chronicling all the things that Black people have done in history. From making the ice, like ice machine, like a vehicle that can produce ice, from telegram, all kinds of inventions that only Black people have ever done it in history. And they are not giving Black people that recognition to say this, they did that, because Black people have been stripped of the audacity of who they are. So I feel that it should come a time when each of us should take audacity as something we should pick up, like I'm picking up this, and run with it. Because I feel that what makes Michelle Obama, that I look up to better than I am, is audacity. Anybody that is doing something that is worth of value, you coming in here, creating this platform, that Black proud woman, it's audacity. You understand? So back to your question, how do you develop audacity with this time of disadvantages and whatnot? okay, you said it also kind of in your question. You need to start with yourself. How badly do you want that thing that you want? How badly do you want it? You need to, number one, stop making excuses. For me, I help people say audacity, you can, how to develop audacity despite adversity. The thing about adversity is that we lose perception when we evaluate adversity, because adversity steals four things from us based on what I have seen in all of these years of coaching. Adversity steals your dreams. Because of it, you no longer have plans, you don't have a vision, then you lack the action steps to do what you need to do. So, what I encourage people, if you want to have the right mindset to develop audacity, look at the gifts of adversity. Instead of thinking of adversity for one, for example, when my mother died, is the greatest adversity of my life. She was only 37 years old. She had high blood pressure that culminated into stroke. She couldn't walk or talk, or she was in a vegetative state for 2 months in hospital, and only me had to take care of her. Only me. There was no one to help. My siblings were too young. I cleaned her, I bathed her, did everything. And this is this shy, timid girl that was tripping over herself, that had no iota of self-confidence. That adversity alone transformed my life 360 degrees. In 2 months, I was one person. February, I think 15th or so, she took ill. March 27th, when she died of 1996, I became another person. Like two different people, because adversity that period gave me resilience. It gave me the strength. I didn't know the capacity I had before. Like, I didn't know I could bear things. I didn't know I could endure hard things. I didn't know. There's somebody I look up to. So when you experience adversity in your life, try to think of what is the lesson. Instead of it taking you into victimhood, try to think of what is the gift of adversity. Adversity gives you wisdom. Adversity gives you insight. That time I now knew who are friends or who are wolves in sheep clothing. Who are the enemies? I didn't know those things. I saw people that will come and laugh at you. Then I saw people that will come and pray with you as well. Then I saw kindness from strangers. And I saw evil from people that are close. And I saw betrayal. All of these things, they are negative, but they give you the gift of insight. It now makes you wise. Because what I think adversity does is, like, it is over and you are still standing. So that means there's something about you.
Resilience.
You now need to think. So that mindset of not being good enough, the whole idea is reframe. Look at this beautiful woman that just died, Jane, aka Nightbird, that won the Golden Buzzer during America Got Talent last year. And became so famous because Simon Cowell gave her the Golden Buzzer. And we know Simon Cowell is a very hard judge.
Yeah.
And this young lady had been diagnosed with cancer 2 years plus before that audition. And she was told by the doctor she had only 2% chance of survival. The cancer had spread to every part of her body. Her husband had left her. She had nothing left. But she knew she loves to sing. And she's been in the recording studio before, recording songs. Oh, American Got Talent is auditioning. Let me go there and try. And she sang that song, It's Okay. She said, it's okay. She said, the doctors gave me 2% chance to live. But I decided, what if it's more than that? What if it's more than that? And that girl lived for 4 more years. She just died on the 19th of this month. And presidents are mourning her. Masses are mourning her. Everybody is mourning her. People are praying for her family. Why? She had audacity.
Exactly.
Despite adversity. If you experience, you can't learn anything from a comfort zone. If life is easy, you are not learning anything. It's when life is hard. Like us that came from a place, like the example you made, we're all blacks in our neighborhood. Now you hear. in this my neighbor, this place called Nova Scotia where I am, is not diverse like Toronto. You don't even see. If I tell you, I would, we will talk for days. All
Mhm.
the issues, the immigrant life, all the challenges you think an immigrant would have in Toronto, then kind of quadruple it, or
Mhm.
maybe say but times 10 in a day. Then just imagine the worst case scenario. That's what is happening here. But every day I take it as, oh, this is another new lesson for me to reframe. What if, let me be the first to do that? What if, so it starts from there. I don't know if that answers
Exactly. Yeah,
your
it actually did
question.
and more. So from what I'm getting is audacity comes from you being taking that step to say, you know what, I want to change I want to change people's perception of me. I want to change, like, if I want to have something, I have to work hard for it. And that adversities would always be there. So you're not saying, oh, these are the ways you can counter adversities or you can take out it will, because it's life as we know
Yeah.
it. It's life. But when those adversity comes, it comes with a whole lot of negativity. But how do you change that negativity into a lesson that would help you propel you towards your goal?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my short summary. And
Yes.
that's really important because, as I said, for me, there's so many things that now I'm adopting that word, audacity, because I feel like it's that audacity that has brought me this far. But
Yes.
because before now, I had that low self-esteem. I have that, I'm not making it. I left school so many years ago. And when I left school, when I went to school, I studied hard because they said, if you go to school, it's like once you come out of school, you will just make millions. But that never happened for me. And when I came to this country, I had to go work at a factory. And at that point, I kept thinking, why? Why is my life like this? I came to a new country with a promise of greener pastures. How do I turn this around? And
Mhm.
I decided to do my licensing exam. Thinking on my toes. You know what? I'm going to do this licensing exam. I'm going to get this law degree and all of that. And I did. And I started, even when I started my law firm, people will be like, why are you doing that? Who thrives in private practice, especially, you won't get white people. And I said, if white people don't want me, I don't need them as my clients. There's so
Mhm.
many black people here that need a lawyer. I will
Mhm.
focus on them, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
truth be told, it's been almost a year. It will be a year in April since I started my own law firm, and it's
Mhm.
been a success story, right?
When
So it's that audacity. The same thing when I started this Dapra Black Woman. I know it's a mouthful, but that's probably, I just don't put my name there because I want people to see that I'm black and I'm proud, no
yeah.
matter what it is, right? So
Mhm.
when people say, oh, that blah blah blah, I'm like, yeah, you have to work on it and you have to get it, okay? Because I have that audacity to show. And when I started, people would call me and say, understandably so, they feel like you don't want this to affect your career. You don't want people to think you're being too outspoken. I'm saying, even though it's called That Proud Black Woman, I'm not going out there with a placard and say racism must end and all of that. I'm trying to build my own people. I'm trying to give them that confidence to let them know that everything is achievable if we work together as a community. I'm
Yeah.
bringing people like yourself to talk about their experience, to teach us what we need to do, that audacity that we need to take those bold steps and
Mhm.
make a better person out of ourselves, to create
Yes.
that, to create that new mindset that when you come to this country, you don't have to start as I started, scrubbing the toilets and stuff. You can start with your own business. You can
Mhm.
start, in your own field. So
Mhm.
that's it. Even though it's called That Proud Black Woman, it's just an identity that I want to have. I want people to see that and feel that, sense that yes, she stands for what she wants. And
Mhm.
it's been 20 since 2020, and
Hmm.
now we're in 2022, almost 2 years, and
That's
it's waxing
amazing.
stronger.
That's
So
amazing.
it is that word audacity. I'm telling you, I'm going to steal it.
It's phenomenal. It's not my word, it's a word I give everybody to take, like faith, like having faith, like hope. There are some words when you just pronounce those words, it empowers you. Like, for example, they said faith, hope in the future is courage in the present. I love that quote. Is by Les Brown. Hope in the future is courage in the present. Today is not good. We know it's hard. Imagine you starting a business in 2020, the worst time when the world is falling apart, and you've been able to thrive and still continue till now. Kudos to you. Well done. That's audacity. You know, I feel audacity is the greatest secret in the personal development world, because you can have tools, you can have education, you can have systems and processes, you will even have connection. But if you don't have audacity, you cannot do anything. Like in Nigeria, then I used to work with a lot of corporate companies. I was in the banking industry, but on the side, I would be doing this coaching on the side. In 2006, I was in UBA, United Bank for Africa. But in the weekend, I would be a keynote speaker in one event or the other. You understand? So I remember back in 2014 that I was trying to pitch to this bank, mega bank in Nigeria. And I'd been on that job trying to bid the process for it the whole 3 years, continuous, consistent follow up. Today, one big thing and everything, But that day, after 3 years, I was now opportuned to go and speak in front of the panel of whatever, about 10 people from all the different um, departments, heads. I went in there. I came all the way from Port Harcourt, where I was living, and this was happening in Lagos. So I traveled. But every other consultant was based in Lagos. So they came with their teams. I was a team of one. Of course, on paper, I said different. These people had 3, 4 people with portfolios and big, big suitcases. And they lined us up in this waiting room. Oh my God, I was shaking like this. I was like, what am I doing here? What am I going to say? And old men, some with gray hair, I was like, oh God. Then I called my friend. I said, see, right here, see this place, see what they are doing. See, I feel so intimidated, and I'm the last person they will call. I wish I could just go in first and just run out and let them not even give me the thing. But I'm so, you know what she said? She said, Mounfiq, just open your mouth. Just gather the courage, open your mouth and speak. You understand? And that's what I did. And I got that job. I got that job with all those portfolios and everything. They gave me the job. You understand? So this is one example. You know why? You know that public speaking, this thing me and you are doing, is one of the most hated things in the world by people, because they tell you there've been some statistics that they use for reference purposes during trainings I've attended and online courses I've taken. They said people, at least I think 70 or 80% of people, will rather take a little injection than to speak in public. Like, they hate it. It's that bad. Like, and what's the reason? Nobody wants to be judged. Nobody wants to be critiqued. Nobody wants to be, what if, and every time, even before I came on, I was nervous. But I use audacity to fuel myself. I tell myself, you got this, you are stronger than you think. Affirmations is a good way to help you to kind of build
Boost your
your
confidence as
self-esteem,
well.
your confidence a lot. Affirmations, all of these things kind of build you to know how to have that audacity. So it's a word I feel everybody should embrace, like faith, like hope, and just hold on to it, because I feel what differentiates us from people we look up to is they had audacity and we don't yet. Who says it's only Oprah Winfrey that should talk to like a big stadium with people about who says it's only Oprah Winfrey? Mounfiq will do it one day. I don't know how, but I believe I'll do it. I even have dreams that one day Oprah will interview me, just like she did Adele the other day. I don't know how it will happen. That's the audacity. And some people will say, okay, maybe it's pride, maybe it's arrogance, just like you said, pride and stuff. Pride has nothing to do with, pride is a good thing. Is when you have too much ego or you become too arrogant. That's not what we are advocating. So
Yeah.
the advocacy is believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody is going to believe in you.
Yeah, just on that note, I would say that's a big issue for a lot of, especially those of us that are Africans, because the way they have taught us, and that's what is, I would say, is killing us when we come overseas, because you're supposed to be quiet. You're supposed to not share your joy. You have to, I'm Yoruba, and they say, "Tishu any bata adawa bojen." That means if your yam is whatever, I don't know the English is. If you harvest your yam and it's good, if you have a good harvest, you have to like eat it in secret. And no, that kills us, because when we come here, we do good things. We do, like at our work, we put in all the work, and somebody else takes the victory, because they're the ones that were able to open up their mind and say, oh yeah, we did this. But then when they say that, they're never going to include your name, because they were the ones that took that victory, and they will be the ones to get the promotion, and you'll be there so miserable, you'll be there so bitter about it. Even when we were looking for jobs as well, I brought Dr. Adi on my show the other day, and she was talking about, even from when she reviews our resume, instead of us to say I led, we'll be saying I assisted. You don't do that. If it's your work, you have to boast about it, because at the end of the day, all the counterparts are doing the same. That's what will make them bring. That's what shows that you're a leader. But when you say I assisted, I did at that, because you want to show, oh, I'm part of a team, then you're not going to get it. Or when they get there, when they give you the job, they give you an assistant role, or they pay you way less than you deserve. So we have to be very assertive, as he said.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. People who think they are, they're looking out for you. They come to you when they see you having that audacity to do what you want. They come and advise you. Maybe you should step it down a notch. You don't want, because you might not be able to get a husband. You might not be able to. They think that they have your own. Oh, we're just looking out for you. No, you're not. You're killing my dream. You're killing that audacity that I have. Because then, one way or the other, we are humans. If you listen to that long enough, it's going to creep into your mindset, and you're going to start thinking, especially when things have not started working in your favor just yet, you're going to start thinking, maybe it's because, maybe I should listen to what people are saying. And that kills our dream. That kills the fire that is burning in us. Yeah. So we have to also think about it. Maybe in their time, that was how it worked, but the world is changing. So don't use your own bad experience to ruin somebody else's fire, to douse their fire. You have to just keep your opinion to yourself if it matters, or if you think so. Because I've had situations where people, when I started this show, when people will say, oh, you know what, in this situation, you don't want, at your work, people are going to start looking at you. They're going to be very careful. They don't want to talk around you and all of that. I said, well, if they're not comfortable with me being around because I have a show called That Proud Black Woman, then they actually do have a problem that they need to get checked. And truly, as people have said, I saw that people felt that way, but I didn't let that affect me, because that's your problem, not my problem. All right. So we have to also try that mindset of, you know what, if I want something and I believe that that's the right thing for me to do, then I have to shut down all those adversities and adversaries and whatever English it is, those that are coming to whisper in my ears. And as you said, look for mentors, look out for role models, those that I want to be like. If it is Obama, I want to be like Obama. Let me retrace his life step, because all of these things are out there on the internet, what they did, how they moved forward, and then apply that to yourself.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Another thing is that you need to invest in yourself. Our people, they don't believe in investing in themselves. Back in here, if I tell people I'm a coach, I don't need to explain further. In Nigeria, I used to explain it till all the saliva will finish from my mouth. Like, what's she talking about? So it's like, you need to invest in your own personal development, because I believe personal development is the bridge between your education and your success. It's a bridge between your education and your success, because it will give you tools that you need to work with to work on your self-esteem. For example, I feel self-esteem affects everybody. And no matter how successful you are, it affects everybody. I was reading an interview recently. I was listening to a course, and they said that Larry King used to say, is it Larry King is one of the best interviewers in the world and has interviewed so many people. And was it Oprah? Oprah also said it. Oprah said, at the end of the day, there are three things human beings want. They want to know, do you see me? Do you hear me? Do what I say mean anything to you? Those are the three things every human being wants to hear. And even if it's Michael Jackson, if it's Beyonce, if it's anybody, they want that sense of, do you see me? Do you value me? And that's what self-esteem. Then Larry King said, most of the time, after the famous people leave, they will ask their assistant, how did I look? Did I look? And these are famous people. They have billions of followers, they've made billions of dollars. So self-esteem is something we must work on. And there is no course in university called self-esteem. So I believe that personal development is that bridge between your education and your success and fulfillment, especially fulfillment, because success means different things to different people. But when you use the word fulfillment, you have wealth, but you have peace of mind. You have joy in your heart. Not that you just have riches, you have the cars and everything, but you are not at peace. Look at the world today. See the spate of suicides. Another reference is this beautiful girl, the beautiful Miss America, be Miss, that just died last month. I don't know if you followed. Her name is, I've forgotten her name though, but she was the very first girl, very first black woman, the first black woman to become Miss America in 2019. In fact, in December, she partook in the Miss Universe concert as a co-anchor to Steve Harvey, and they did this whole thing. And she was a lawyer. She has 3 degrees. She was a lawyer. She lived in a palatial, beautiful apartment in Manhattan. She was just 31. If you see her hair gets up to her waist. Beautiful black girl. Beautiful. On, was it 19th of January? She just woke up in the morning. People saw her climbing the steps. She just interviewed Denzel Washington the week before. She has co-anchor job in, she's a media personality. She interviews for Extra, Entertainment Extra Television. Is one of her many jobs. She also does, like, I have other consultants and speaker friends in the US that invited her for their own seminars, and she attended. She motivates and inspires people. If you go to Instagram, you will see her with the freedom sign, like Lives Matter, and she has all this activism and everything. Nobody knows nobody knows. You see, the thing about it is that why audacity is so important that you should have is that we don't look like what we've been through. We don't look like what we've been through. You see people looking well, nice handbag. Like, what I help people to do is to triumph over trauma. Because trauma is wearing a nice handbag, is wearing a nice t-shirt, is wearing nice Gucci shoes, or is it Louis Vuitton shoes, whatever, any standard you want to call it. But in the inside, how are you? Really? How are you? Really? This girl last month, she just interviewed Denzel Washington, did all these things. She's a success. Externally, everybody looks up to her. She lives on the 6th floor of the Manhattan building. She climbed up on the elevator to the 21st floor, 7 a.m. in the morning, and jumped to her death.
Wow.
And from Oprah Winfrey to Gayle King to everybody's just like, I posted it. I had to post it twice. Because the thing blew my mind. What the police that they identified her body said, look at this life. This is who is the standard of who other people want to be. And she left one suicide note. She didn't tell anybody why she decided to because what I know with suicide now is that people, it's better to say death died by suicide instead of committed suicide, because it's a sensitive topic, but you really don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's just that person. The person self didn't even know. But I don't know. I don't know. But I know I've been depressed in the past to the extent you like, what else can you do but that? Then you remove it from your mind and you have to stay back on track and look for the lessons in that tough situation that you are combating. So self-esteem, I believe, is something that everybody needs. You know, you need to invest more in yourself. And what you talked about, this issue about what people say, limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs, you need to extricate ourselves from limiting beliefs. Some of the things that are limiting us are based on cultural, generational belief systems that are no longer working. Like, I conduct Audacity to Lead seminars every quarter. And the one I did back in November, the next one is coming up in August, in April. And the people there, I said something. I said, do you have something very important you want to do right now? Do you have a goal you are pursuing? A lot of people raised their hands in the class, and I said, okay, fine. Do you know one thing you should never do when you have a goal? Don't tell anyone. By the time you tell people, that's
Too
when,
many, too
oh
many.
God, too many opinions. Nobody is exactly like you. Now, for the audience, those that are listening, please be aware of this. There's only one Fikemi and there's only one Mounfiq. And each of you, whatever your names are, is just one. Out of the 8 billion people, is it billion or trillion people? I think it's billion people on this earth living right now. There is no one person with the same composition, same makeup like you. No, it's just you. You are the only one, and you are unique in your own self, and it is just you. You have all that composition. So now let somebody else that doesn't know anything about what you are doing or know what made you decide to do what you want to do, now be the one to make you not to do it. You could listen to them, because I have this Audacity to Lead framework, and I give 5 tools for you to have. One of it is criticism busters. How to bust criticism, the kind of criticism you should take and the ones you should throw away, and the ones you should just like, please stay in your lane, don't even talk to the hand, just talk to the hand. I don't have, because sometimes some people will just come and use, like you said, use their negative perceptions. And some people do love you, they care,
Exactly.
they're saying it from a good place, but they are not you, they are not your experience, they don't really know the factors that helped you to decide to make this step that you are taking action on. So you appreciate them with love as well, and carefully just tell them with love to mind their business, and you go do you. It's so important. Yeah, I love
That
this. I'm seeing the comments.
that's true,
Yeah.
because for, as I said, for some people it's actually they're out of a good place or through their own experiences. Maybe they've tried the same thing 5 years ago and it turned out horrible for them. But that's the thing. As I said, times are changing. That's number one. Number two, we have different ways of handling things. Maybe I'm more energetic than you, and I can put in more time and put in more energy to get that done. So in that situation, you have to be able to decipher between what you want to listen to and what you want to take to heart. Some things are fuel. For me now, if you say I can't do it, it becomes a fuel that burns me, like, you think I can? Okay, watch and see. But for some other people that don't have that same strength, then they'll be like, oh, I can't do it. Maybe they've been doubting themselves, and maybe they already prayed, I need a sign. I need a sign. And then you come and say that, they'll be like, oh, they take it as a sign. And then they step back and then they are not able to achieve that goal. So for everybody, it's different. And as you talked about trauma, for so many people, one way or the other, they've lived through one trauma or the other. And for some people, they never addressed that trauma growing up, or they thought the trauma is no longer there, because sometimes our brain has that way that it can push things like to a corner that you won't even remember it happened, and one thing will trigger it someday. And that's why people will say, she was happy yesterday, she was this yesterday. You don't know what triggered that. So sometimes we have to be able to deal with those traumas and get it sorted. If we need professional help, we need to go out to get that. And I know for people, especially, I can't speak for other African countries, but for Nigerians, we are the type of country where they say, when you're going through things like that, keep it to yourself, because they want you to appear perfect to other people. They don't want other people to laugh at you, which understandably so. However, we have to start changing, because we're not saying go tell it to everybody. You can go to a professional where it is confidential. It's a safe place. You can tell them what you're going through, and they're able to set how you can go about it to get that sorted.
Yeah.
It's easy to say because those things are not cheap either. But there are so many other free resources out there
Yes.
that you can take advantage of. It could be maybe just an hour. But what I've found out is speaking to someone sometimes lift up that burden from your soul. Because when you keep piling them up, you never know. One day, the lead will not be able to fit it anymore, and to just all come out. And that's when you make irrational decisions. I used to be the type that no matter what you say, you can never offend me. No matter what you say, I will laugh about it, but I'm hurting inside. And one day you will do something that's very, very
Rash.
minute, not, and then I will just become this beast, and I will scream your head off, and people will start looking like, what in the world is wrong with you? She only, but that's because I've been piling it up and piling it up, piling it up.
Yeah.
So that's for different people. It is different. We don't know. So that's why, as we have to change that mindset. All those things that we were going through, or all those mindset of when we're in Africa and things were different and our traditions were different and the norms were different.
Yeah.
We have to start thinking. We have to start thinking, how can we make these things better? How can we make our lives better? How can we make our situations better? And how can we have that audacity to lead? Because those adversities are not going to disappear. They're going to continue to be there, but how do we change it and be stronger for it? And thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming here today and showing us those steps. So now, as we are rounding up, we talked about steps and steps that we need to be able to be that person, that audacious person that goes out there and fulfills dreams and all of that, and people see you, and you're a role model for a lot of people. A lot of things that we talked about. Can you just say two or three of them, like just to recap? So if they forget anything, that you
Yeah.
cannot forget these things, because it will lead you to a better place in your life.
Yeah. Thank you so much. First of all, I said you need to really look at. Thank you so much. There's somebody called Latoya that's been putting some really kind comments, and I'm looking for a comment button, but I can't find the one. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing is, what are the lessons when you're experiencing a bad situation? Find out what are the lessons. That's the one thing I said. Instead of feeling like, why did this happen to me? You ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Reframing is so important for mindset. If you reframe, two things happen to two people and they have two different results, because in life, know that you can always choose your reaction. You can never control what happens to you. You don't know what will befall you tomorrow, good or bad, but you can always choose your reaction. So it's so important. Be aware of that. Number two, another thing I mentioned is that prioritize personal development. Don't be look at every year, think, how many books should I read to improve myself, to improve my mindset, to improve my ability, to improve my capacity? Because whatever education you have, master's, PhD, anything you have, your life is a culmination of your total decisions based on your habits. And those habits have nothing to do with your education. So you have to keep on thinking, how do I keep working on my habits? And how do I work on my thoughts? Like the first book I read, Think and Grow Rich, because you are the synonymous with the key things you think about. Because the longest conversation you can ever have is with yourself. You are with yourself 24/7. You may talk to your kids, talk to your spouse, but you'll be in the toilet, you'll be taking your bath. You are with your thoughts alone. So what kind of thoughts are you feeding your mind with? Because if you tell yourself, whatever you tell yourself many times, and you mentioned it too, is you start believing it. So if you transmute the negative beliefs from other people and put it into your own belief of yourself, you need to be mindful that you will start believing it. So you won't be seeing good in yourself. You'll be seeing only negativity, because that's what you're feeding your mind with. So you are a combination of your thoughts. Be mindful of that. It's so important. And I think I mentioned the fact that audacity is the greatest secret in the personal development world and in life in general. Your mentors, people you look up to, your coaches, your parents, anybody you respect and admire, in the area where you respected and admired them, they showed audacity. My dear mother, that 2 months in hospital, is only the left side of her body was like gone. Only the right side that was moving. And when I come in to just come to clean her up, because teaching hospital, I'll come in 8 a.m. in the morning, stay with her till 4. Then the next day I complete the cycle. And I was grateful for ASU strike for the first time in my life. It was the best strike ever, because I thought, if I wasn't here with my mom, who would have taken care of her? Then I'm in school doing what? So I was grateful for that strike, So she's lying in bed limp in pain, and she has bed sores. She has, just imagine the worst. This woman she will see me and she will raise the right hand a little bit and it will fall down limp again. Oh, sorry, the left hand, the one that was was not working. That showed resilience, that showed strength, that showed audacity. She wanted to leave. So I never thought she would not make it. It gave me hope. It made me to keep going. The doctors had all kinds of diagnoses, but she wanted to leave. So in your worst case scenario, know that you are stronger than you think. And another thing that is so important is give yourself permission to break down when you need to break down. You are not
preach it.
You are not made of stone. You are made of blood vessels, and you have, because your body will keep score. That whole culture of fake it till you make it, or stay strong no matter what. Superwoman. My favorite song is Superwoman by Alicia Keys. Even when I'm a mess, I'm gonna put on my best with an S on my chest. So yes, I'm a superwoman. Those are the favorite lines. But there was a time that I had a mental breakdown. I carried those lines, threw them in the trash, into the garbage. I'm like, I'm going to break down now and cry just because I need to heal. Give yourself permission to rest, because you cannot give from an empty cup. If you want to be audacious, self-care needs to be a priority. You need to have routines in your daily life that feeds your soul. If it's yoga, if it's taking walks, those are the two things for me. I don't do spa so much. I do yoga and I take walks, and oh my God, there's nothing as therapeutic as that. Even drinking water, hydrating yourself is a part of self-care. That's what builds you up, because you cannot give from an empty cup. Those are the things I can remember, right?
Those are fantastic. Oh my God. And my favorite part that you spoke about is give yourself that opportunity to break down. Oh my God.
That's so
you need to see me crying sometimes when because I feel like sometimes when I try to, be that superwoman and I'm, very tough, that pain, that stress will continue to be there. But give me 1 second to cry my eyes out and I'm fine.
Right now, these days, I don't even mind. I used to hide and cry, but now I cry and my kids come in and, Mommy, you're crying. I say, yeah, it's a good cry. It's okay. It's okay.
Because sometimes you find out that when you cry it out, you feel better. But if you never leave it, you never know when because sometimes when I keep it, something little will just happen and I'll be crying in public because I'll be like, why am I crying? Because tears will be falling. It's something that has been repressed in my heart. And now it's just coming out. Maybe something happened. It's coming out and at the wrong time, right? Maybe I'm even speaking in public and then all of a sudden my voice starts to be shaky and all of that. And it's so embarrassing. So it's better you get it out when you can and be free of it and move on. And that's really important. It's okay to cry. It's okay to break down. The most important part is when you break down, pick yourself back up and continue the work.
Yeah,
that's really important. And I really appreciate you for coming here. You have reset our mindset. And for people that will be going back to watch it again, they would think about it and say, you know what? This is the truth. And this is really coming at a good time because next month is International Women's Day. Yay! So we're going into that month feeling more, fulfilled. Like, yes, I have that audacity to continue to pick up where I left off and to continue to, work towards my goal. That's really important. And I thank you so much that I contacted you and you came on the show and you gave some golden nuggets that,
Thank you.
people would be able to think back and say, you know what? I learned this from Mounfiq. I did learn that from Mounfiq. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Latoya, for all the comments. I appreciate you, sis. And she was one of my speakers last week as well. She's really, really good. And she's also a public speaker. Thank you so much, Ali Martin. Thanks for joining us. Wahid Miriam Oluwaseun, thank you so much for joining us. For those of you that are not leaving comments, there's no way to, acknowledge your presence. So always, please, when we are on live, just leave a comment so I can be able to acknowledge your presence and, say thank you for, giving that time to join today. And that will be it for today. Thank you so much and love you. See you next week.